So this vehicle was coming in with an oil leak. It sat out here for a little while. There's the leak. And again, this is a Virginia customer. She goes between here in Georgia. There you go. And this is a vehicle that I service, and then another shop in Virginia services. So let's see where this oil leak's coming from. So the cover's removed. You can see this a little bit better. The drain plug is leaking. Put hands on it, see if it's tight, but it was probably reused. So again, drain it and let's see what's going on. So before I even loosen that, look how they boogered it up, the drain plug, and that was a new one that I had put on previously. So here's the drain plug. I got it off, had to fight a little bit. But take a look at this crush washer. Reused it, in my opinion. Obviously, this is going to be in my opinion, but these you cannot reuse them. But there's only one way you get an impression like this. It may be a little tough to see, but there's an edge on the back, and it is extremely deep on the front side. So they reused this twice, in my opinion. Again, didn't replace the drain plug, didn't replace this crush washer, and then now we got a leak. So now I'm checking the oil level. Now we're at max. I'm gonna turn the key off now. I'm gonna go down. These will leak running, but to be honest with you, they'll leak more when they're sitting static, engine off. And so there is no leak. There's no indication of any leak. So we've let it, I warmed it up, and then we let it sit long enough to get the oil level, and there is no leak. There's no leak from up top. The oil filter housing cap seal. Again, we've cleaned that, and so we're good. So I'm gonna bring this all together. This started the end of December of last year. I did this oil service, $180 for that 2016 Porsche. So the vehicle left and went back to Virginia, and it had an oil leak, and that oil leak was my fault. It went to a shop up there in Virginia. That's 11123. This is what they did, and this is what they charged, $488.34. I paid that amount back in on that date. There it is, $488.34. This is my February credit card statement. I paid it. I didn't like it. I expressed my dissatisfaction, if there was such a word, with how they cracked me over the head. 2 hours of labor. That oil and filter had just been changed, but yet they replaced it again. Charged me for a drain plug and seal, 6 cans of parts wash, and an environmental fee, again to the tune of $488.34. I paid it, whatever. My fault. I put myself in a position to be cracked over the head like this, and that's the way it goes sometimes. But I learned from this one. This was what I call an education in how I deal with these cars, Audi and Porsche and Volkswagen, moving forward. We're all good. So this is why I was a little dissatisfied. Again, look at the date. This is 1 of 23. Now, I had done a similar repair for a customer on their 2012 Q5 3.2. It's essentially the same engine, same oil filter. Look what I charged him. 1 hour. I charged him for the oil filter, drain plug, seal ring, and the oil filter cap. That was $45 of that $72. And I charged him for 3 cans of parts wash there. $223.82 is what he paid. Now this repair here is almost apples for apples. This repair here outside of the oil filler cap. So this would have been probably somewhere around 170-ish, give or take a few dollars. So hence my dissatisfaction with this here. I didn't need to charge him for the oil, any of that stuff. You know, he had just had it done. So we're good here. So now this vehicle comes in now after this shop just serviced it again recently with an oil leak. And I'm going to walk you through what I'm going to charge the customer, who can then defer this to them. But I charge them for 2 hours of labor as well. I didn't need to replace the oil and filter, but I did need to add a quart of oil. I did replace the drain plug and seal ring, and I used 3 cans of parts wash. So I charged them what they charged me for the wash. I charged them a few cents less on the oil, and then there's a drain plug and seal ring, and I replaced it. Here's what I did as far as walking it through. I like to be very descriptive, cover my bases. And there's the amount, $339.47. So I could have palleted something like this from this repair facility that I have basically allowed to remain anonymous. I could have palleted this here because this is, I can justify this, I can accept that. And that's what I'm gonna pass on to them. Could I have charged them for new oil, new filter, do whatever I want? But I didn't. That's not the way I roll here. So now whether they pay that or not, we'll see. I don't know. Are they stand up? We're gonna find out. But anyway, that car is done. It is leak free, and this is the way it goes sometimes. But this will be the final part of this video. But how I represented that drain plug and that seal ring, in my opinion, was not replaced. Not only was it not replaced, but it was all boogered up and made it a challenge for me just to remove it. The torque on that is 22 foot-pounds, which is roughly 28 newton meters, and that's what I torqued it to. I allowed that vehicle again to sit and run and verify that there is no leak when that thing leaves. So we're good. So this is just the way it goes sometimes in this business. We make mistakes. I make mistakes. All we can do is just stand behind what we do, be honorable, have integrity, and live to work another day. That's it.